All right, so this story, we all have very strong opinions about these characters from history. How was it for you when you adapted the book, making sure that we show that, but we also show the real human side of each character and the complexity of both?
Yeah, that was really important to me, that we got the offstage version of them and not just the public image of them. And I think because they had all written a lot about themselves, a lot of them have written autobiographies, there are a lot of letters, but because they're British, they don't always express exactly what they're feeling, especially Brits from the 1930s. So it was good fun for me to kind of dig underneath a little bit and find out, from my point of view, how a modern audience will relate to what they were going through and the decisions they made and why they made them. So it was, I loved it.
Of course, a lot of tragedy, but I love in the pilot getting to know the sisters as young kids, That was one of my favorite things about the pilot.
Good.
How was it for you kind of building their relationships? You got to build 6 sisters,
I know.
each different, but all show their loving bond. Even though they were different, they loved each other.
Yes, they did. And actually, they were a very loving family, and those bonds lasted pretty much until they died. And their parents, although their parents were mad, eccentric people, they loved each other and they loved their kids. And they didn't always make the right decisions about what to do with their kids, but there was a lot of love in that family, especially in a British aristocratic family. There was a real bond,
My favorite scene in the pilot, which is really, I think the whole show hinges on pulling off the scene, which was done so beautifully, is when Diana and her husband, he says, don't see Oswald anymore. But you know that the marriage is falling apart and it's going to start her down a whole new journey. How did you approach that scene? Because I love the fact that Diana didn't have a lot of lines, but you knew exactly what was going on and where this was going. But it was also a very important setup for you.
Yes, I know. I mean, actually, quite a lot of the scenes, I didn't have very much time to do any setting up. So you had to get right to the heart of the scene straight away. And that was a real challenge. And I just, you do what your instinct tells you, don't you? And I had some great actors, so I knew that they could do something with a look that didn't need a line. They could do it with a look.
Well, it's also within character in 1930s British. Like they're not going to come out and say you're having an affair, you're cheating.
No.
But it was heartbreaking because they also care about each other, which I thought was a beautiful. That was so. When you wanted to focus on making sure that they did love each other.
Yeah,
there wasn't
absolutely.
It wasn't a bad thing.
No.
It was just Oswald was more appealing.
Yeah. No. I mean, it was a crazy time when people didn't express their feelings really, but somehow they knew without words.